Hello everyone and welcome to this Vuelta a Andalucia preview, the race in Spain in the early season, which everyone seemingly enjoys because of its climbing terrain and it shows who's in form in the early season. So as for the start list, we have a very strong Movistar in Sky especially. Landa will be leading Movistar. He's got Fernandez, Soler, Amador, all these guys, of course. Movistar known as a climbing team. Of course, Team Sky are gonna bring their Sky bots back to Spain. Froome is here, of course, after his doping controversy. We'll see how he goes. I reckon he will go well because he's Chris Froome and that's what he does. He does very well. Probably will win the race, but who knows? He's got De La Cruz, Pools, Dijkman, all these guys in the train, and they're gonna be pretty strong. They're gonna be interesting to see because that's basically the first time we're gonna see the SkyTrain. So it's gonna be interesting. Stefan Kruijswijk is also racing. Fuglsang is racing. He's in really good form. We got these guys. Moreno's here with his new team. Antunes is here. He's gonna go well for CCC early season. Demon usually. Hermans is here as well. And yeah, there's a lot of pro continental teams. Only a few World Tour teams, but out of them, few of the teams have brought their big guns, of course, Lando and Froome especially. And yeah, I mean, the third spot on this podium could be a bit wide open. Fuglsang's here, Kruijswijk's here, you know, they could both do it. Or it could be someone like a Pools who does well for Froome. But yeah, that could happen. As for the stages, stage 1, this parkour, of course, 197 kilometers. Pretty mediocre size stage, and there's a fair few climbs in this stage. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it could be a breakaway. I mean, there's a decent chance that there's going to be a breakaway on this stage. There's a fair few climbs. That means, especially for the first stage, the peloton might not be all fit and firing, even in early season. And, you know, they might be a bit complacent in the breakaway on the first stage and let them go. So that might happen. I mean, as for breakaways, you have guys like Tim Wellens, Puccio, these guys who could go on the breakaway, win a stage, win the first stage. And yeah, Moser coming off his Trofeo La Guelia win, he could go well here. I think if it stays as a bunch sprint, because I don't think he'll be able to go for a breakaway, he might be able to do something in this sprint. I mean, if they ride it really slowly, which they probably will looking at the parkour of the next few stages, it could just go to a sprint, or of course a breakaway. I mean, for sprinters, this field isn't really sprinter friendly. I mean, this race isn't really sprinter friendly, and the field coming into it doesn't really have many sprinters. Trying to find some. I mean, Bernati's here. Bernati could realistically win this stage because he can get over the climbs. So yeah, I mean, Wellens has a decent sprint on him. Fuglsang, not really. Luis Leon Sanchez, he's someone to look out for this race. He's been on tremendous form early season. He could go well. Valgren could go well. These sort of guys. I mean, there's not many sprinters. I see Thomas Boudard. He's a bit of a sprinter. Brenton Jones. Some of these guys. Battaglin could go well. But yeah, I think it will be a breakaway because I don't see them really chasing on this stage. It's not too hard. I mean, I don't think we'll see GC attacks. It'll be pretty unlikely. I mean, there are a lot of climbs, not so much the finish, kind of middle to finish part of the stage, so I don't think there'll be an attack from the GC guys, but maybe, I mean, if Movistar wanted to play this tactically, maybe they could send Fernandez up the road on one of these tougher climbs and try and get some time, who knows. As for the stage, I'm not sure who's going to win. Wellens has a good chance, but if I had to predict, I would go with Luis Leon Sanchez. The man has been in some unbelievable form. If you look at his palmares from this year, he's done very well. He won Murcia, very good stage win from that. I remember that. He did really well. In Vuelta a la Comunidad Valenciana, went really well. Couldn't match Valverde, but nonetheless performed very exceptionally well. In TDU, finished third in the stage, 8th overall, which is pretty solid. That's pretty amazing start, and I reckon he'll win this stage. So that's stage 1 down. Stage 2 is the mountain stage. So stage 1, it will most likely be a breakaway. All the riders, all the GC teams will probably be saving legs for this stage. Alto de las Alanadas, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, it looks like a pretty steep climb. I think that's Cat 1. GC fireworks today? I think so. I think Sky will be pushing the pace. I think Movistar will either tuck in or they'll pace. I don't think they will. I think they'll just tuck in and try to hang on with the Sky train. Froome, Landa, it's interesting. Of course, they used to be on the same team, so the rivalry, there might be a rivalry, much like Froome and Quintana. But this might be more fierce, you never know. They used to be on the same team, so yeah, I think this will be a good stage. I think there'll be attacks, Landa and Froome. I'm not sure. I think they'll definitely both of them should attack, and we'll see some really aggressive racing. So looks to be a really fun stage, and of course a lot of mountains preceding the final climb. And yeah, this sort of rise before it, we can see a fast pace by Sky. People like Puccio and Diagnan, those sort of guys, just going on that first part and just really blowing up the race. We could see that. I reckon. I mean, the top 10 riders, they'll be separated by a minute, maybe 50 seconds. I'm not sure how hard this climb really is, but it looks pretty hard. It looks pretty hard from here. It looks about, well, yeah. I think maybe not 50 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, but yeah. It'll be a big slog up to the finish. Only 140 kilometers, so could be some attacking riding actually if you look at it. So yeah, looks interesting. I mean, if we actually see this climb appears to be shorter, because that's 133 kilometers out of 140, and there's still maybe 4 kilometers in the middle there. So the climb's maybe 3 kilometers long, which Landa and Froome will still enjoy, but not as much as the long climb. So the gaps might not be as big as, some people would think, but there will be gaps. Time bonuses, of course, be a bit of a, warning sign for future races who's going to go well on this stage. So yeah, stage 3 is a flat stage, the only flat stage of this race, I'm pretty sure, other than a time trial. And the field for sprinters, I'm pretty sure isn't great. I mean, it's just not very good. It's not a sprinter-friendly stage. It's just, sorry, what am I talking about? It's not a sprinter-friendly race, so none of the big teams really brought their big sprinters. So it'll be a sprint which is a bit open. We have Benati here. We have, I don't know. We have, we can see Van der Sande winning. Narsen could go very well with the sprinter field. Some of those guys, Bataglin. So yeah, we'll see. We should be able. I think we'll see a surprise winner. Portev's here from the Meltfort. We might even see a winner from the PCT Pro Continental Circuit. That could be possible. But yeah, really open sprint. Probably not going to be a breakaway because some of the teams, probably the Pro Continental teams, will be chasing. So, and that's the only sprinter stage. So they'll be really looking for the win with their sprinter. So it makes sense that they will chase and they will make it into a sprint. So yeah. Stage 4 is, again, a hilly stage. I mean, it's quite mountainous through the middle, and then there's not much flat terrain in the last, 100 kilometers. It just goes up and down and up and down. Pretty good terrain for racing, really, because there could be attacks, there could be a lot of things. The final climb looks pretty short, really short actually, like 1.5 to 2 Ks. Landa and Froome, I'm not sure. I don't think that's really long enough for them, but it could be a sprint. It could be a sprint, but Sky will most likely try and blow it up at the flat portion before the climb. So yeah, I think we'll see. We won't see big gaps. I guess stage 2, the other climb stage, is probably going to be a more of a difference on the climbs. But of course, stage 5 time trial, we'll see the most differences. So we will go to that stage. Stage 5. Stage 5 is a time trial. It's I think it's 18 kilometers long. It's pretty flat. It really is flat. I mean, in Spain, you don't really see many flat time trials. So yeah, I think the time trial specialists will be out to perform here. It's their first real go at it. Guys like, I don't know, Froome himself has a big shot at winning this stage, this race, this everything really, because this sort of time trial, there's no hills. I mean, if it was just a mountain, if it was a mountain time trial, Landa could be closer, but Landa, 14 kilometers actually. I don't think Landa's going to go that well on this stage. He's going to have to gain time before. So yeah, I don't really see Landa really challenging Froome on this stage, or even the GC, unless he has a really good ride in the mountains. I mean, Fuglsang could go well. He's a very good time trialer, so he's not very good, pretty good. Thinking about it, Luis Leon Sanchez, if he limits his damage, he could be in for a podium. I mean, if you want to bet, he's probably going to be like $10 for betting for the podium. You might want to put a little bit of money on him, because he's in some great form, and it's looking pretty promising for him this year. Other guys, Tarame is another one. He's pretty good time trials, pretty good stage racer. And yeah, I mean, looking elsewhere, Hermans, he likes hills, he likes this sort of racing. Mamikin could go well with his new team. Very weird signing for him. He went to a young Spanish team, Burgos BH, and he'll be looking to impress. Actually, this team's got a few good riders, Hercules, Mendes, so look out for them to be in the breakaways, maybe a top 10 or 2. I think we could see a great performance by Froome. He will cancel his critics, I think at least. I think his team is here to help him, 100% support. Dela Cruz pools, great climbers. Don't really see much of an option for others to really win this race. I mean, Landa's there, Fuglsang's there. That's about it. I mean, Kruiswijk, he doesn't really perform very well, other than the Giro, of course, even though he crashed there, but we won't talk about that. That was pretty unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, Modelo, I didn't speak about him, actually. Cannondale have a really good sprint team. They have Modelo and Van Aschbroek, so one of them's going to win Stage 3, I reckon. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.